Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be covering some battles that I did above 3100. I think I got as high as like 3198 or something like that. I'm currently 73rd on the leaderboard. Let me actually just double check here. I'm currently 75th on the leaderboard. The meta is admittedly kind of weird here, but these are some fun teams that I used. The first team was recommended by M. Reese. He called the team Busted, and it's Shadow Abomasnow, Shadow Golbat, and Shadow Swampert, all with the standard movesets. The first two battles were kind of rough, so let's go ahead and start showing them. So Deoxys is pretty bad for it, so I'm gonna go straight, and I forgot to TM my Shadow Golbat off Shadow Ball, but that's totally fine, right? So I'm gonna bait the Shadow Ball. At this point in time, I'm pretty sure they have Psycho Boost, and that's pretty common in the lead that they have Psycho Boost Thunderbolt. So I'm gonna shield the first Psycho Boost, and then I'm gonna take the second one because it is 2-stage debuff, so it's like hitting with like a neutral base 70 damage move, so it's not gonna KO. And then here comes Umbreon, and this is where Air Cutter comes in super clutch, hitting for neutral damage. Air Cutter is an awful move. Really bad move. Does like absolutely no damage there. So I'm like kind of in a little bit of trouble here. And then oftentimes they have Stun Fist in the back. So I am going to go and build up a bunch of energy here. Going to take this Foul Play. And going to look to build up some additional energy before throwing this energy ball. I really hope this energy ball KOs this Umbreon. Does not. That is not good for me, but it ended up being okay. I'm going to throw this Weather Ball, and then I'm going to switch. And then I'm really hoping that it's a Stun Fist in the back, because that's pretty much my only shot here. And it is not. It is a Alolan Ninetales, and this is actually really bad for me. So I throw the Hydro Cannon here, hoping to grab the shield. I do grab the shield, and I'm going to be able to... I kind of have to shield this. But there's not really a win con for me here, to be honest. So, and then what I tried to do here is I tried to undercharge this Sludge Wave, just so that I could potentially Powder Snow down this Ninetales, but I ended up undercharging it a little bit too much. And plus they have like the Weather Ball right here. So there wasn't really, even if I perfectly undercharged it and then threw the Weather Ball into Deoxys, maybe I could have won, but it was like a little bit too difficult of a match here. So we're into another counter lead, which is not great. This time I do have Shadow Ball. So they switch out into Mew. And I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball here, hoping that they don't shield. This is probably prime time to bait, because I probably win this matchup straight Poison Fang. But at this point in time, I'm not going to shield. And I'm pretty sure they're going to throw another Surf at me. So now I know they have Surf Wild Charge, or most likely Surf Wild Charge. And then I'm going to look to land the second Shadow Ball in order to grab the last shield or potentially win switch advantage. So I'm able to take it out, and they come to Skarmory, which is pretty bad for me. Yeah, like this is very bad for me. This is like inverse. Inverse. Okay, I'm going to switch here. I really should have I should have shielded this Foul Play. It was definitely going to be a Foul Play. That's like the standard way to play this. So I should have shielded that Foul Play, and then maybe I would have had a slightly better chance. But this, to be honest, Skarmory, like basically Abomasnow had very little to go. So I'm going to let this go. And they're going to Power Up Punch me. Yeah, if I shielded that, maybe. I'm going to throw the Weather Ball here, but I think this Weather Ball barely doesn't KO. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm going to take too much counter damage. I'm going to throw the Weather Ball here. No Air Slash gets through, which is good for me. But I'm just going to be a little bit too low on health. The second Weather Ball, if I got to another Weather Ball, the Skarmory would have just barely survived. So kind of tough first two games, some counter leads. So we go into Abomasnow into Altaria, so this is an excellent lead for me. And they go into Registeel. So typically, this is either going to be what we call Season 1 BBML. Someone in the comment section below can tell you what that means. I don't shield this because I don't want this Altaria to farm me down and throw a Sky Attack. And then as well, I'm going to put a lot of pressure onto this Registeel. I'm going to CMP tie it with the Flash Cannon. So I'm going to force him to make a decision on how they want to play this. So CMP tie, get the Mud Shot through, which is great. And I'm going to throw this last Hydro Cannon. And then I know I can beat Altaria with Golbat. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm actually going to switch back into Abomasnow. I know, kind of weird. Switching Ice type into a Steel type, but it's quite low. And this Weather Ball will definitely KO the Registeel. It does about 18%. Well, it doesn't KO, but close to KOing. And I know if they come back, okay, they're going to come here. They're trying to catch the Energy Ball, so they timed it really well there. But, you know, it's just... there's just like no way for me to lose, right? So at this point in time, I'm going to throw the Weather Ball here. No, Energy Ball, I should say. Energy Ball is not going to KO, but I'm going to put it really low. I'm actually just going to let this go and then just go into Golbat and look to hit the Poison Fang. And they concede. So really strong lead for me there, and then as well I had a really nice counter switch. So if they would say switch into Azumarill, that would have been a little bit tougher here. Okay, so it's kind of a tough matchup here. Umbreon versus Abomasnow. So Umbreon does beat Abomasnow in every Shadow Abomasnow in every even shield scenario. I kind of like winning switch here because if they have a grass type, then I would love to pair it up with Golbat as long as it's not Abomasnow. So I'm going to shield this. I build up for the Energy Ball. Then I think they kind of make a weird play here. They actually come into their own Abomasnow while my Abomasnow is absolutely loaded. So they're at 2 Powder Snows now. 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure why they didn't throw right away here. Let's see here. Oh, they actually just fully let it go. Not really sure why. I'm going to throw the Weather Ball here. Just try and do as much damage as possible to this Umbreon. I do expect a Grass type in the back, given the fact that he came back with Umbreon. And I'm going to look to throw the Hydro Cannon here. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to build up a little bit, just so I have a little bit of residual energy. And throw this Hydro Cannon, which should be able to KO this Umbreon. They end up shielding. Oh, man. And I have to shield this. And then we end up in this... I'm hoping not desync CMP. No, we don't. So I'm going to build up a little bit extra energy here. I'm going to throw the Hydro Cannon. I don't want to get hit by a foul play. So I play a little bit safe there. And they have Toxicroak. And then, honestly, I have... one of the hardest counters to Toxicroak, which is going to be Golbat, and there's not really too much they can do. I double resist the counters, single resist Mud Bomb, single resist Sludge Bomb, so it's absolute beast versus Toxicroak. Okay, so this is not a good situation for me. So I switch again, switch to... okay, so here, people love to lunge. People just love to lunge. I'm like, no shield. Lunge me. I dare you to lunge me. Double resist lunge. I'm going to throw the Poison Fang here. They're definitely looking for the big farm down. So this next... They actually shouldn't shield this. Because this... that definitely would not have KO'd. I get the Powder Snow through, which is great for me. I have to shield this. And I'm going to throw the Weather Ball here right away, just before they get to another lunge, just so I can KO this Galvantula. And then I switch out right away. They actually switch into Marowak, which actually gives me a little bit of energy advantage versus this Obstagoon, which had a little bit of energy advantage versus me. I'm going to let this Night Slash go. I probably should have shielded, because I'm going to be able to KO this thing before they're going to get to another move, because I win CMP, plus I outpace it, plus we had like basically nullified each other's energy advantage. So I'm quite low at this point in time, but I do resist Fire Spin from Marowak. So I just need to survive 3 Fire Spins, which I do, and they actually throw the move here. This is going to be a Bone Club, most likely. It is, and this Hydro Cannon is basically going to look to one-shot. Even if it doesn't one-shot, then I have enough health on Abomasnow that I can still be able to power Snow down. So I was going to switch out just in case. But I was in a really good spot there. So I believe this is the last game with this particular team. Oh, actually, no, nope, that was the last game. So I went 3-2 with that team. The next team, this is not a team I would highly recommend. Because basically, like an Azu lead would be like almost GG's, right? So, but Azu with no Hydro Pump, it's actually Stunfisk and Bastion actually do really not that bad against non-Hydro Pump Azu. So I'm like, thank goodness they're staying in, because any counter user in the back would be pretty much not good for me. So basically, anytime there's not the counter user, I have to switch, or the ground type, then I have to switch. So I switch out right away, and they switch out Galvantula into Stunfisk, but really this is absolutely game for them. There's not really too much they can do, and they decide to leave. So my backline was just way too strong for them. I just had like more than perfect alignment. This is the craziness of the meta in above 3100. Okay, so this match here, basically what I'm doing here is that both of my Pokemon in the back are quite good against Jirachi. I tried to catch the Doom Desire, and they're gonna be able to power up punch me here. I'm gonna be able to land the EQ. This is unfortunately not gonna KO this Scrafty, and I'm not looking in the best situation here. If I didn't let that counter go through, but really had no choice there, then that would have been still good. I would have still got farm down. So they have a Doom Desire on Jirachi. So I'm gonna look to Dragon Breath down. I'll just take this Foul Play. It's not a big deal. And then I switch out into Bastodon right away. Catch the Doom Desire. But then they have an Offsuit in the back. So these teams are like absolutely all sorts of insanity, to be honest. Like I am going to shield. And they actually have Cross Chop on their Obstagoon. There's no Gunk Shot on that. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, they have, obviously, Jirachi's their Azu counter in the back. They decided to no-shield this. They're definitely trolling me at this point in time. So, I am going to shield, because I'm like, I'm either going to KO your Obstagoon, or I don't shield this, actually. Or I'm going to take one of your shields. So, you just pick or choose. And took 2 other Pokemon. Feel pretty good about that. So, but yeah, that was just a tough situation. These teams are all crazy in the above 3100. Like, really don't like make sense in conventional how you play this format. So, okay, so it's not the best situation for me. Well, no, this is a good situation for me. So they're staying in, which means that they're double weak to, at least double weak to Altaria. And then here comes Politoed. So I do have to be careful of the Blizzard. They might not even have Blizzard though, so kind of tough to say. They had Venusaur lead, so I am scared here because if I get KO'd by this this Politoed, then the Politoed will just sweep my back line. There's not really too much I can do here. So I am gonna double shield, and I'm gonna switch out into. I should have went to Bastion here, but this is totally fine too. They're actually triple weak to Altaria. They throw the Weather Ball here. I really should have just thrown the Rock Slide, because I realized afterwards, because I do connect with the Rock Slide, how much the Rock Slide actually does to Castform. And I'm just barely able to survive the Embers. And you can see that's like almost KO. So, but it worked out perfectly fine for me. So I think I go into Bastion here. Gonna let it go. It's just gonna absorb all the damage here. And then I'm gonna switch, and then I catch an EQ here. Very nice attempt by them. And then I'm gonna be able to throw the Sky Attack here, And then the Castform does have another Weather Ball. But even if it did KO me, like I have almost a full Bastodon ready in the back. It doesn't KO. I'm able to farm down. Yeah, team entirely weak. 2 Altaria. Like the meta is like so weird. Just like really weird. I don't. So really, like people just. Okay, so here I'm trying to evaluate whether or not they have Rock Slide, Psycho Boost, that kind of stuff. So I need this Altaria to be healthy, so I end up shielding. And they get a counter through. But you're gonna see like how stupid the that is. Like, watch this. They have a Wigglytuff. This is Deoxys double Charmers. What the heck? So, I don't necessarily need to charm all the way down. Right? I don't need to smack down all the way down because these charms are kind of adding up, and I don't want them to get to another move. So I'm gonna actually undercharge this Stone Edge here, just so that I have a charge move ready for this Deoxys, so I can stall the clock on that side to get the counter off. I really don't need to stay here. I have 2 Pokemon that are perfectly fine against Deoxys, so I am gonna switch here, and they go into Ninetales. Again, double Charmers, like just like absolutely insanity here, right? Like I get like a pretty good chunk of health off, put it into Rock Slide range on Stunfisk, which is really good for me. I'm going to wait the clock out. I'm going to go back into Bastodon, force him to throw into Bastodon. I'm going to let this go, absorb the damage. This doesn't even KO. I'm going to get a little bit more chip left on it. That's great for me. And I'm going to actually shield this Weather Ball because even though they probably... I should have threw 1 turn earlier too. I don't know why I CMP'd there. But it's not a big deal. I throw the Rock Slide here. And then they actually save it. And then they're trying to build up here. Their Deoxys is so low. Like, all I need to do is double up here. They don't have a move on Ninetales. So, now we know. Double Steel beats... Double Steel beats Double Charm. Pretty educational there. Yeah. So I'm able to take it out. So yeah, so I did about 20 battles on set. The queue times, I'm definitely showing you, like without the queue times, these queue times are getting quite long. So I'm gonna go straight into it, and then they come to Shadow Machamp. I'm like, okay, this might be GG's for me. I'm actually gonna let this go. So it takes like 7 counters plus the cross chop to KO, and then they must have not been counting, because you're gonna see what's gonna happen here. They decide not to shield. I was like, what? They decide not to shield. They are gonna Dragon Breath me down. Gonna do like almost no damage with these mud shots. They're locked in still. And I decide to go into Bastodon. They decide to just leave the match. So I ended up going 4-1 with that team. I think I'm onto a new team here. We'll see. It's going to be Perrserker, Gallade, and Toxicroak. Yeah, Perrserker. Again, this double fighter concept here. So my whole team is decent against this thing. And I go into Gallade, which is probably my most consistent counter to Azumarill. These confusions are really adding up against the Azumarill. And I'm going to be able to hit with super effective Leaf Blades. Be able to outpace it as well. So I throw the Leaf Blade here. I get a little bit greedy here, but I knew that they didn't quite have the move yet. And I'm totally expecting... Oh, they come into Marowak. Marowak's honestly the worst Pokemon for me to deal with this on this team. Because it's pretty good typing against my entire team. I'm going to throw one more. Bank the Close Combat. And then I really just hope that this is not a Shadow Bone. I'm really hoping that they throw the Bone Club. They throw the Shadow Bone, and my defense falls too, so that's really bad. Looking to take the last shield here. And then I have the Leaf Blade ready, so I'm just going to throw it. And this should be a CMP tie. And because of how low they are, They kind of have to shield this Leaf Blade. Oh, they don't shield it. Okay. That's not good for me. And I go for the Leaf Blade here, hoping that they think it's a close combat. I really need this. Even if they didn't shield it, then I would be able to counter them down. Like, they would basically be in, like, range right there. So, like, one more counter would have KO'd. They do have another Weather Ball ready, so that's perfectly fine. But I'm going to be able to get to this Mud Bomb and be able to KO this Abomasnow. Just barely. Survive with a little bit of HP. And this Mud Bomb is going to be able to KO, even though it is resisted. Still does about, like, 25% to the Shadow. To the non-Shadow variant, but it does about 20%. All right, going to this next match. This is actually a really good match. This one was pretty crazy. So I'm going to throw the close combat here because I actually thought I was going to bail. They end up shielding. And they go into Skarmory here, which is really, really not good for me. So I throw the Foul Play first because I don't want to debuff myself again. And then here I am going to shield, and then I'm going to look to build up to 2. Throw the close combat, so I have a close combat ready. So I have a move banked on my side. And then I'm just going to blind switch to Gallade here. Or Toxicroak. I go Gallade because I feel like it's a little bit safer. They come into Mew, which is totally fine by me. And I throw the Leaf Blade here, hoping to grab a shield. And they do shield, which is pretty good for me. They definitely would have been able to survive it, so I'm going to let it go. They're probably going to throw the Surf at me. Yeah, and then I'm going to go to Perrserker here. And I really hope that they don't catch or they don't remember that I have a move ready. So I'm going to throw the Foul Play here. And they actually end up living with a little bit of HP, but it's actually CMP. That's amazing for me. And I'm going to look to switch here. And honestly, this is a pretty safe shield. I really debated on... they went for the appropriate play, because if they throw the Rock Slide, I definitely would have been able to make it to the Mud Bomb before they make it to the EQ. Obviously, they could throw the Rock Slide at me, but it wouldn't make that big a difference. It'd do like 20-30%. And I'm going to still be able to counter down this Mew. So I think they made the right call. They had to make the call that I was going to call their bluff. All right, we're going Perrserker into Machamp. This is really bad for me. I think I got completely hard countered by this team, to be honest. Yeah, this was really rough here, to be honest. Like, there was not too much that I could do in this particular matchup. I end up in an okay spot here. There's no point in me shielding this because the Mud Bomb doesn't KO. And then the counter afterwards as well. So I kind of have to let this go. It's going to do so much damage to me. And they Brave Bird. And I'm going to look to throw the close combat here. Just to grab the shield and put Gallade up a shield. And they go into Gallade. And they go into Hypno. Why didn't they go Hypno into Toxicroak? So this ended up being a really, really bad situation for me. And there's not really too much ways for me to play out of it. I am up a shield, but this confusion damage is just way too oppressive. They didn't get a confusion in that time. They're going to have to... Oh, they actually don't shield, so... And they let me farm it down. They knew what's up. Really well played by the opponent. Excellent job by them. Yeah, very fantastic play. Like, up here, like... They're just going to play all sorts of mind games. And this was like an amazing match, if I recall correctly. So, favorable lead for me, for sure. I don't know how they... I must have lagged at the beginning because it's six Shadow Claws for me to get to the Foul Play. But somehow, like, they got the 4th confusion in. So they're at 5 right now. I don't understand what happened there. And they go into Umbreon. And here's the thing, though. Like, Umbreon is very difficult to beat behind on a little bit of energy with Toxicroak, despite, like, the huge type advantage. And I really don't want to commit a shield. They Last Resort me. And I can't even get to the Mud Bomb beforehand. and they just end up with like a huge energy advantage somehow. And I'm just gonna look to Shadow Claw down, which is kind of a crazy proposition. I know, I realize that, but it's really my only way to win, right? So I'm gonna look to Shadow Claw all the way down. Tanky Pokemon. I'm already at 100, so I decide to just bail. I'll just take the move on Gallade. Gallade is very squishy, but there's not really too much they do for here. So I build up. They come to Scrafty. I think I let this go because I know it's going to be a power-up punch. And I'm going to build up to 2 Leaf Blades. I'm hoping if I can grab both shields, I can win this game. I can definitely win this game. If they shield here, that's my win con. They end up shielding here. And then I don't think they quite realize how much energy I have because I go close combat on this Scrafty here. So their Umbreon is at like 1 HP. It's like no health left. I'll definitely be able to take it out beforehand, but I just cannot throw this Foul Play into the Umbreon. They actually come into Hypno. I wait for the confusion to come through to make sure that they're locked. And then I'm going to be able to Shadow Claw down. Very nice. That's going to be GG. So really, really fun match there. This one was really close. Oh, man. Another Machamp lead. Pretty tough for me. So I go straight into Toxicroak. They go into Pelipper. And this Sludge Bomb would do a whole heck of a lot to Pelipper. I think I would be able to counter down afterwards. So I let it go. I let the Weather Ball go. And I'm going to look to... Oh, man, just doesn't... This is not good for me. They're in a really good spot on their side. And honestly, though, the only way I can win is I Shadow Claw down this Perrserker, throw 2 close combats at Machamp, and then kind of just pray from there. They make a really nice play here. So I'm about to Shadow Claw them down. And I think I shield this. And then they switch to Machamp. And that's really bad for me. They switch in the middle of my Shadow Claw here. I'm going to throw the close combat at this Machamp. And they actually end up not shielding. And then... What happened here? I somehow ended a turn behind because we should have CMP tied to this close combat here. I blind switched, so I'm not 100% sure what happened there. But it doesn't really matter because like it's not like one close combat KOs the maybe how much does it do? Okay, last team. Oh, I just get annihilated. This match, this is so bad for me. Also, very good battler. Perrserker does, close combat does only like 65%, so there's not really too much I did there. I should have thrown the, I don't know. So my defense falls. I'm like, oh man, this is like game for me, right? Like, what I'm really hoping here, like I see as my only win con is if he throws the Bone Club here because my defense is down. Ends up throwing the Shadow Bone, and yeah, that's pretty much game for me. Comes into Jellicent, and I switch. Toxicroak to Jellicent. Oh, you idiot, King. You idiot. You idiot. You idiot. Like, that's just so bad for me. This is so bad for me that the counter is doing absolutely nothing. Mud Bomb sucks. Like, it's bubble beaming me down. Like, this couldn't be any more embarrassing. Yeah, this is so... my only win con here was I was going to survive this bubble and switch out, but I just really couldn't. And I lose CMP to the Jellicent. This is an absolute brutal beatdown, but Angelino is an incredible battler, so yeah, this is an absolute beatdown here. I think it comes in like Surf Edge here and then comes into Marowak, and yeah, it's just like... Yeah, obviously, if I save Toxicroak for the backline, then maybe. And I go Hypno into Politoed. This is a pretty decent matchup for me. I'm gonna look to get this Confusion through. So I'm not going to shield this because this Weather Ball doesn't hurt that much. I'll eventually have to shield one of them. So the Thunder Punch. I get the Confusion through, which is actually really amazing for me. The Weather Ball. And I think I have to shield this. And I think I throw an extra Confusion just to throw off their counts. And I probably could have did like one more, but we might have CMP tied. We actually definitely would have CMP tied. And they come into Ninetales. Ninetales is so... Okay, all right. So I definitely should have lost this match. Well, I don't know if definitely should have lost the match. So I end up like no shielding this. Kind of a risky play on my side. And I build up a little bit. And then this is the game deciding it back. They decide not to shield, and I was like, "What?" And then this is actually kind of a close match. These charms and Weather Ball is just an absolutely amazing move, right? So just to get so quickly with charms, like it's kind of not fair, to be honest. Like six charms to get to Weather Ball. I do let a charm go through there, but it's not a big deal. And I throw this and I let another charm go through because I honestly thought this Sky Attack would KO. It does not. And this Weather Ball, it does like 30% or something. It doesn't it's not going to KO, but it certainly does a pretty significant chunk. And that last charm put me really low, so kind of a really close game there. So I go Hypno into Toxicroak. It's very good for me. They come to Azu here. And honestly, though, I'm just going to stay. I have Skarmory for the Toxicroak. So as long as they win the switch here, which there's like almost no way. I thought about switching there. And I decided to like just stay the course. They actually go straight for the Hydro Pump, which is really, really good for me. I throw the Thunder Punch here. And I missed the bubble there. And they have to end up... they get another bubble through there. That's fine. And then I'm going to look to Confusion down. And these... I love Shadow Hypnosis. So much damage. And then I'm a really good spot here. I make kind of a risky play here. I really didn't need to. But I also didn't want them to like build up to like 100 energy off my Hypno. So they are going to be able to live this because you need typically 6 counters and the Mud Bomb to be able to KO. And I'm still in a really good spot here. I should be able to make it to the Mud Bomb way before this Basson can make it to a move. Plus I still have Skarmory, still have energy on Hypno. There's just really no way for them to win there. Snorlax. So I go into... They're actually running double Charmers, so Skarmory is really good against this entire team. And this is the meta in... So I'm actually going to shield this because I really don't want to lose switch advantage. So I am going to Sky Attack here. And I'm going to look to build up a little bit. I think I actually farm down. I'll take this Weather Ball. So again, I know it does about 30%. Plus they get one more charm in, but the next Air Slash should KO. And I actually tried to go for two Sky Attacks here. Really, I should just went straight for the Brave Bird because there's no way I was going to make this next Sky Attack. They switch out into Clefable. Toxicroak is okay against Clefable, obviously with shields down. And I need to try to get these extra confusions. So I do get the extra confusion through. This charm pressure is absolutely tremendous. And they get a charm through, which is not good for me. No charm through on that time, which is really good for me. Unfortunately, I'm really low. And the confusion doesn't actually register there. So I'm going to have to counter down this Clefable. And the Body Slams actually does like a pretty decent chunk to Toxicroak. It's actually going to be a really, really, really close match. And I throw, and then they get it right here. It does about 40%, so I should just barely survive. And then I think the counter went through that actually ended up KOing the Snorlax, so I didn't have to worry about like getting hit by a lick and then potentially tying. So I think I ended up going 3-2 with this team. So I think this is the last battle. Altaria lead. It's kind of weird here. I make a huge mistake here. So I thought about trying to catch there, but it's weird because it's like 7.5 turns, and I'm trying to switch in the middle of it. They come into Deoxys here, and I'm like, okay, if this Deoxys throws a Thunderbolt at me, this is like pretty much game over, right? There's just like really no way for me to win. I do grab the first shield. I should have just baited up again to the Shadow Ball. Potentially grab both shields. They Thunderbolt here, and I'm like, oh man, this is absolutely game. This is game over, right? Because that means they have Psycho Boost, Thunderbolt, right? I throw another Thunderbolt here, and then I get a little bit too fancy here. I go to Skarmory here, and then I catch the Thunderbolt onto Toxicroak. They Thunderbolt me, does a huge chunk, and they end up having Bastiodon in the back. So if I would have stayed the course, there's just like I would have a shield and like more health on my Toxicroak, so maybe I would have been able to beat the Altaria and Bastiodon with Toxicroak, but it would have been really, really tough. I would have got a lot of fast move damage, so really well played by the opponent. Again, these teams are absolutely crazy. Really, this entire team's weak to Stunfisk, but as you can see in these battles, I don't see a lot of Stunfisk or a lot of Azumarill. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.